playoffs. We've had all the majors, the players, the WGCs, and even the Olympics. Now it's finally time for the FedExCup Playoffs. I'm Teryn Schaefer here with John Swantek for your 2016 FedExCup Playoffs preview of the Barclays. Are you ready, Swan?
I'm ready. I am so ready. And what better way to kick off the playoffs than at Bethpage Black? Notorious for its difficulty, the Black Horse was the site of the Barclays just 4 years ago in 2012. Nick Watney was your winner. And of course, it played host to the U.S. Open in 2002 when Tiger took the hardware, and again in 2009 when Lucas Glover was the winner. Now, this is going to be a lot of fun for the boys this week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough all around because this is the only course that bears that famous sign that reads, quote, "The Black Horse is an extremely difficult course, which we recommend only for highly skilled golfers." Gotta love that sign. Here's a reminder of how the FedExCup Playoffs work. The Barclays is the first of 4 playoff tournament events. The top 125 in the FedExCup rankings qualify, with the field narrowing for each event thereafter. The final event of the season, of course, is the Tour Championship, with only the top 30 players after the BMW Championship qualifying, and the points will reset to give all players in the field a shot at winning the title. But there's more on the line than just that big trophy.
Oh, absolutely. Just ask Jordan Spieth. Remember him, reigning FedEx Cup champ? We haven't seen Jordan in a while. He knows that the players get 4 times the amount of points during playoff events, with 2,000 FedEx Cup points going to the winner of each tourney. Jason Day kicked off the playoffs, Teryn, with a win and a 6-stroke victory, as we recall, over Henrik Stenson at last year's Barclays.
That win for Day may have been on a different course, of course, at Plainfield Country Club, but it was his 4th victory of the season and his first of 2 playoff wins. Very impressive. Going on to also win the BMW Championship last year. The Aussie, of course, sits atop the FedExCup standings as we enter the playoffs.
Top 5 is a big deal. Those are the guys that have it right in their hands at the Tour Championship. If they're inside the top 5 in the standings and they win in Atlanta, they take the cup as well. So Adam Scott is 3rd after his 2 victories on the Florida swing earlier this year. U.S. Open champ Dustin Johnson trailing in 2nd. Okay, now to the fun part. We'll set aside the boys at the top. Let's look at that window from 100 to 125, because only 100 move on to TPC Boston. Who's it going to be?
All right, so in that little group right there, only 3 players haven't missed a cut since early June. That's Keegan Bradley, Francesco Molinari, and Blaine Barber. And guess who has had the best finish? Blaine Barber, T14 at the Wyndham Championship. So I'm riding the hot hand there.
You've done your homework. You've done your homework. The playoffs all about momentum, and I think Sean Stefani kicked off some momentum in Greensboro last week, finishing tied for 14th. He moved up 10 spots up to 123. We saw what happened back in 2009 when Heath Slocum just kind of snuck in. Maybe that can happen for Stefani. I like the way he sort of got it rolling. I like him moving on to Boston next week. But
let's talk about our big picks.
Okay.
Our big picks. You want to start with the Barclays here today?
Yeah.
Let's start with that.
Give me a Barclays pick and a FedEx Cup champ for the whole enchilada.
Okay, so I am going to stick to my guns. I've been preaching Jason Day all season, so I got to stick with Jason Day. Of course, coming back as the defending champ here at the Barclays. His last start was 2nd at the PGA Championship. I know we haven't seen him in quite some time, but guess what? The PGA Championship was also an AW Tillinghast course. So I don't know. It's all pointing Jason Day. I really like Henrik Stenson right now too, but I gotta go with Day.
So Day to win this week and to win the whole thing.
Exactly.
Okay, doubling down on Day. Jim Furyk, you may have heard of him. He may have shot 58 in Hartford a few weeks ago and played very well in Greensboro as well. He's peaking at the right time. So Furyk to win the Barclays. Now, I sat in this very studio back in October. We did a season preview. I picked Patrick Reed to win the FedEx Cup. Not looking so bad right now. 7th in the standings. He's the highest ranked player without a victory, and he's playing some of his best golf of the season as well. 9 top 10s. He's done everything except win this year. Maybe he's saving it for the Tour Championship. Goes into Atlanta as one of the top 5, takes the season-long prize.
I like we're both sticking to our guns.
Yes, that'll work.
All right, but let's talk about how you can tune in this week at the Barclays. Of course, John and I will both be there. The rest of the PGA Tour Live crew will be as well. Coverage on PGA Tour Live for featured groups begins at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time on both Thursday and Friday, and just after 8 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Featured holes coverage will be from 2:45 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday and Friday.
There's more TV coverage, of course. It's going to take place Thursday and Friday from 2 to 6 Eastern on Golf Channel, and Saturday from 1 to 2:30. And then it flips over to CBS on the weekend from 3 to 6, and then on Sunday from noon to 1:30 on Golf Channel and 2 to 6 p.m. on CBS.
And of course, you can listen in on PGA Tour Radio on Sirius XM and PGATour.com Thursday and Friday from noon to 6, and Saturday and Sunday starting at 1 p.m. Well, that'll do it for our first preview show of the FedExCup Playoffs. For John Swantek, I'm Teryn Schaefer. We'll see you at the Barclays.